DonInLondon, hello. It's August the 8th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be wherever you wanted me to be, and trying to be perfect. Never so, and often deluded about life, because I had something propping me up, making life possible in what seemed like impossible circumstances. That was to fit in, be a part of, excel, do whatever I felt I ought to do or should do. And what I've learned in recovery is we get our lives back if we are able to stay sober one day at a time. So I'm in a one-day life plan. My one-day life plan is not to drink today and see how life can turn out. And it's important for me to stress that I talk about my recovery here, not about anybody else's. Although I do learn, experience, strength and hope from other people. And the way I do that to stay in recovery simply is to be a part of community, be a part of society, be a part of my family, be a part of a fellowship. And that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I make no apology for being part of it. And also, I'm actually very happy to be a part of a fellowship, which helps me understand my daily condition. So I've got a toolkit which has been provided by other people, by a fellowship, by family, of how to stay sober one day at a time, and then life starts to happen. And the gift from Thursday to Saturday here in London, UK, is the weather has improved. I've been to some meetings of the fellowship and heard other people's courage to change and to make life work as we can, one day at a time. So I'm in recovery, and I'm extraordinarily surprised to be here still on the planet when my world got so dark that I could not see outside my own head. And by that I mean I drank to the point where I isolated, excluded, felt fearful. I couldn't even put on a brave face anymore, and my ego was smashed. I had no delusions about life ending and never wanting to wake up again. So it sounds depressing actually to say all those things in a short space of time. But that's something I've learned, that it's better to know where I'm coming from, where I've got to, and what next, and keep it in the day. So for me today, life is okay. And yes, why is recovery important? Why share it? And the simple answer is a message of experience, strength and hope from anybody to another person about how to live and get out of the addiction and be in recovery. Not recovered as such, because if we have to try to do it again, control our drinking or our substance use or our behaviour over self-obsession, I guess, and fear, it will take us back very quickly to where we ended up before, so fast in the fact that maybe, or indeed, we might overstep the mark, overdose on substance or behaviour and find ourselves no longer here. So it's a very serious message really to share that it is important. There is a way out, and fellowship works for me, other things work for other people, and I've learned so much from many different walks of life about how to live. It's helped me understand that I have one life, this one, and I can make it work or I can undo it and undermine it. So what helps me most though? Fellowship, where I get experience, strength and hope. Now I cannot speak for AA, I don't know how many times I've emphasised this, I do it in every video simply because AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is full of unique, authentic people who share their experience, strength and hope where they choose to. And I share my experience, strength and hope of recovery here. So it might seem like a fine line, but it's important for me to make that distinction. I cannot speak for a fellowship or unique, authentic people, nor would I wish to. But I can share how it's helping me. So this is like a mini meeting. I always share the AA preamble or statement of intent at the beginning of my videos, or near to the beginning. And it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. That's the most important part for me. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the key sentence is in there for me: the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So it's a bit like we get it by giving it away. And we can do that in fellowship meetings, or we can do it by writing or sharing, where we choose, and it's a personal choice. And many people prefer anonymity and to share their experience, strength and hope in the rooms of AA, where it's sanctuary to share the truth. It's a sanctuary to find out who we are and express it. And I do that on a daily basis, hopefully. I go to meetings as regularly as I can. And it keeps me sober. It makes possible that I can see the day as it is. So often much is talked about serenity. And serenity is not joyful happiness or blind happiness. Serenity is, I suppose, it's conditional on our spiritual condition, which is to see the truth of now. Truth of now as it is. So that's what I'm learning. I don't know that I will ever get to the truth. It sounds like a bit of perfectionism for me, but it's very easy to get deluded and find ourselves back in the mire very quickly, self-obsessed, fearful, putting on a brave face, and full of ego, I guess. Although ego was never my favourite trait to, I suppose, get by on, but it was there, definitely. There was a lot of fear. Anyway, I share daily reflections from this book, an AA book, and for today it says, made a list. August 8th, made a list. Made a list of all persons we had harmed, and this is the 8th step of the 12-step action program. When I approached the 8th step, I wondered how I could list all the things that I had done to other people, since there were so many people, and some of them weren't alive anymore. Some of the hurts I inflicted weren't bad, but they really bothered me. The main thing to see in this step was to become willing to do whatever I had to do to make these amends to the best of my ability. Where there is a will, there is a way. So if I want to feel better, I need to unload the guilt feelings I have. A peaceful mind has no room for feelings of guilt. With the help of my higher power, and that's a personal choice too, if I'm honest with myself, I can cleanse my mind of these feelings. And, to do a moral inventory and then find out where the resentments and the anger are, to then be willing to make the list of amends. It's not actually about making the amends, that's another step, step 9, but being willing to look at our lives, what we were good at, what we did, and the good and the bad of that. Don't always concentrate on the bad. It's all about fear. And the good is that we can actually overcome most things and make our amends if we are able to identify how. So the fellowship program helps me how most of the time. It's about how to. It can do. Put these steps into practice, if you like. And they're not hard. Well, yes they are. Life is hard. Life is difficult. Anyway, as Bill sees it, this one, read as many pages as you feel necessary to change your attitude and behaviour, or anything to change attitude and behaviour towards a positive, maybe. And it says on this page, where am I? I'm sorry I'm a bit flat, I'm sort of tired, and it says here, page 170, whose will? We have seen AAs ask with much earnestness and faith for God's explicit guidance on matters ranging all the way from a shattering domestic or financial crisis to a minor personal fault like tardiness. A man who tries to run his life rigidly by this kind of prayer, by this self-serving demand of God for replies, is a particularly disconcerting individual. To any questioning or criticism of his actions, he instantly proffers his reliance upon prayer for guidance in all matters great and small. He may have forgotten the possibility that his own wishful thinking and the human tendency to rationalise have distorted his so-called guidance. With the best of intention, he tends to force his will into all sorts of situations and problems, with the comfortable assurance that he is acting under God's specific direction. And you know what? I get my wisdom from people, and if God works through people, excellent. And if people are telling me the truth, and I learn what the truth is, I'm also sharing truth, hopefully. I've run out of time, so the serenity prayer to God or good conscience or your higher power Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.